The answer, like all others, is no. What's up, guys? All here, and here we are to do a quick discussion on whether or not Yuuji Itadori will be able to survive the space-rending slash, the creation-cutting cleave, the CCC from the newly empowered and newly awakened Ryomen Sukuna. And, I don't think so. But I've been seeing a lot of arguments that he should, and I go, why? Well, let's talk about why I think not. What's up, guys? I'm here. Fun fact, I have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. And fun fact, Sukuna also has it on him and keeps it on him at all times. And another fun fact, on top of that fun fact, is that, say, hypothetically, that you existed on a piece of paper. In fact, we could even get a little bit creative. Let me take out a piece of paper right here. See this piece of paper? What I'm now going to do is rip it out. Fresh, clean. And of course, considering I am that guy with the pencil, I also have this on me, and I keep it on me at all times. And I'm going to do something a little simple and clean on my Kingdom Hearts type beat. So, this is a person on a piece of paper. You see him? Right there? Now, here's what Sukuna's original cleaves and dismantles would do to this person. They would slice it in half. Now, presumably, if a person was durable enough, or had an excess amount of cursed energy if they were taking a cleave, or just durable enough if they were taking a dismantle, it would maybe slice into them, but it wouldn't actually do too much. It was a traveling attack, and naturally, that means that most things wouldn't survive it because it's coming from 20 Finger or any variation of Sukuna, but it still was hypothetically survivable. So that means things like the person's cursed energy amount, or in a cross-verse sense, their amount of raw energy or durability, that would genuinely matter in most cases. But it could lead to a scenario like this, where a person does get bisected down the middle, or it could lead to a scenario where someone just face tanks it. We've seen that things like cleave can be eaten somewhat. We've seen Ryu eat casual cleaves or dismantles, whichever you think it was. Then Sukuna turned on the gas a little bit, and then he couldn't tank it anymore. We've even seen Gojo tank a bunch of cleaves all at the same time. Remember, in Malevolent Shrine, if you have cursed energy, you are being hit by cleave. So the thing is that those are not automatic things that will just bisect through you. They will take into account your durability, where you are in space, all that. They are specifically targeted towards an object. In the case of this person on the paper, they're targeted towards this person. So the big thing, and the reason I bring this up, is that a lot of people are assuming that with the new evolution, the spatial slash, as I'm going to probably call it for a while now, is simply able to be tanked by Yuuji Itadori because he is soaked in Sukuna's cursed energy. If you remember at the end of 235, Gojo mentions that, due to the fact that it's my own cursed energy, that purple, it hurt a little bit, but it didn't really do too much. But the thing is that is different than what is going on with Sukuna's new spatial slash. Because what happened with Gojo's purple technique is that it still existed as an attack that could damage him on the same level of space. It needed to travel, it needed to do stuff like that. And even the new spatial slash likely may have some essence of travel, or may just be really, really fast and Gojo couldn't react to it. But the thing with the spatial slash is that it completely ignored all of this. The durability, the cursed energy amount, the neutral limitless, the infinity. It ignored all of that. So instead of drawing a slash on the piece of paper here, what actually ended up happening to Satoru, and likely why he couldn't tank it at all, despite seemingly tanking multiple cleaves from a Malevolent Shrine just probably in the universe 10 minutes ago, is that instead of Sukuna, slashing specifically at Gojo, he slashed at the paper and more went... I missed! No! Wait. I missed again! Please. Bam! There we go, that's what. I even missed the... Okay. Do I have skizzers? I don't have any scissors. You get the point. Alright, you know, it attacked the space. Yuuji exists in space, no matter what. So, thusly, the fact that he has Sukuna's cursed energy literally shouldn't matter. Because Yuuji will not be the one getting targeted by the spatial slash. It'll be the space that Yuuji exists in. Now, is it entirely possible that Yuuji transcends into a four-dimensional being that does not care about our traditional three-dimensional space? Yeah, but on a likelihood scale of that happening, it's like 0.0000 times a trillion one. Like, I don't think it's going to matter. Another big thing about the whole, like, oh, well, one can tank their own cursed energy, right? Yeah, let's just take a quick double glance with 235. If you go back to that, and let me just make sure before I make this statement. Yeah, that hollow purple that Gojo ate still charred a majority of his body. Like, half his face is burnt off from his own cursed energy. And that means that Gojo could take damage from his own attacks, a relatively decent amount of it, even though it's supposed to be softened by the fact that it's his own cursed energy. And realize, that's Gojo, someone who has relatively comparable amounts of cursed energy to himself, you know? Sukuna is much more powerful than Itadori, putting it nicely, putting it gently. And thusly, the relative amount of cursed energy that Yuuji was steeped in, like a tea bag, is probably so relatively infinitesimal to what is essentially 20-finger Maguna that it literally wouldn't matter. Even if, like, let's say it did work like that, the amount of nerfing that your own cursed energy does seems so, I don't want to say minimal, but, like, Sukuna should be bulkier than Gojo. And Gojo did have the it's my own cursed energy debuff when it came to tanking his attacks. Or no, buff when it came to tanking his own attack. And bro still got crispified. Bro low-key looks like a chicken nugget by the end of 235. On his own. He literally has to heal off towards the end of the chapter. Like, I don't think Yuuji's like that. Like, and don't get me wrong. Would I love to see Yuuji just no sell it? Yeah, but it just doesn't make sense based on how it was explained. Like, if it was explained even slightly differently, then I would go for it. But let me read verbatim the official Viz translation, because we've had multiple translations, all that said various different things, but the general synopsis, the general idea is that it does cut space, but I'm hopping on to the good, juicy Vizinator, and let me tell you something. Blah, 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 blah. Infinite yapping. I'll say, the second adaptation proceeded as I hoped. That wasn't meant to be a slash like the ones I'd launched. It was an extension of the curse technique's targets. Its target was not Satoru Gojo. It extended all the way to space, existence, and the worlds themselves, as so to cut them. Without regard for invulnerability, as long as it existed inside that space, that world, those existences would split apart. It was an incredibly difficult technique to obtain, but I did have a wonderful model. So, essentially what Sukuna is saying is that whatever is, like, there, as long as it exists on that same plane, it will be slashed. You are no longer... Here, I know. I'll do it again. I'll make sure I don't miss this time. I went really small with that last stick figure. Hold on. Let me show you my peak prime artistic skill. Honed in the mountains for years upon years on end. So it's not, just for reference, it's not this. Oh, that line was awful. Sukuna's lines would be straighter than that. But it's not a simple slash. This is what would take into account Yuuji's durability, the type of cursed energy he has, the fact that he's steeped in Sukuna's cursed energy. That would take into account all of that. That's what regular cleave does. The adjustment to cursed energy, that's what it usually does. This new spatial slash featured by Sukuna in 236 disregards all that. As he says, it literally was not even targeting Gojo. It ignored Gojo. That's why it completely bypassed. In the official translations, it says invulnerability, but in the TCB translations, it says infinity, and I think in the super rough translations, it says neutral limitless. But essentially, it ignores all that. it doesn't matter what's actually like in the space itself, because it's not cutting that, it's not dealing with that, it's slashing at the space in general. So anything that exists within that space would now be ignored and sliced in half. And I hate to say it, but even after a month of training, I don't think Yuuji is as bulky as Satoru Gojo. If he got bisected, even with all of his, as he says himself, his years upon years of training, Yuuji stands no better chance at all. He would get sliced too. It'd probably be worse. So ultimately, I don't think Yuuji can tank it based on how the attack functions. If I do think this, though, I do think this. If Sukuna can never use that attack again, if Gege literally introduced that attack solely so Sukuna could get rid of Gojo, and it's something that he writes off as, oh, Sukuna could only do it once because mystical, magical model, mystical calculations, it takes too much curse energy, whatever. I do agree with the idea that Yuuji should be able to tank, quote unquote, cleaves and dismantles better because of the whole softening of one's own cursed energy effects. But once again, the gap in raw power comes in. If Gojo can barely take his own attacks without being crispified, then I do think that Yuuji, even if you were getting hit with a normal cleave or normal dismantle, would still take extreme amounts of damage. At best, he may not be bisected, but without Megami lowering the output of the slashes, it is entirely likely that Yuuji will, at bare minimum, be like chunked straight down the middle. He'd probably fall apart. That's why I'm still wondering, genuinely, how they're going to stop Sukuna. And I'm hoping that Kashimo really can save the Sarate. However, that's what I think. Those are my thoughts on Yuuji being able to tank the mystical magical slashes of Sukuna. But again, I'm literally just spitballing based on my understanding of the chapter. If you guys have any counter arguments, any other explanations on why Yuuji's cursed energy type would matter when he's literally not even being targeted, space itself is, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that notification bells, I need to slow down. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support for as low as $1 now a month. You can like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also end up becoming a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reactions to chapters like 236 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a very big thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. I'd like to give another very big thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gemlord, Kevin, and Demix LND. I'd like to give another beefy thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha and iDemokami. And I'd like to give a very, very hefty thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. I'd like to give another very big, scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our two $25 patrons, Igneal and Calvin Elder.